Hello, Algebra 1. Today we're talking about geometry. The three topics we will cover are Pythagorean theorem, area and perimeter, and then we'll talk about volume. You will get that formula sheet on EOC, so you will have some of these formulas on that sheet, and you definitely want to have your calculator ready. And so our first topic is going to be Pythagorean theorem. This is the formula that only works for right triangles. You'll notice it's a right triangle because of the corner symbol here, or you might even see 90 degrees in the triangle. First thing you need to know is that the hypotenuse is across from the 90-degree angle. It's the longest side. So the longest side, we usually call it the C. And then the two legs are the sides joining that 90-degree angle, and those are usually called A and B. And so you'll see the formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, let's go ahead and use that formula. We're going to find the missing side. The legs, it doesn't matter which one you call A and B. So we're going to say 4 squared plus 3 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. And so in my picture, I call that x. 16 plus 9 equals x squared. Remember your order of operations. You need to do your exponents first, and now we can add those together and get 25. I'm not really interested in x squared. I want to know what x is, so we have to do the square root. So x equals 5. And so find the missing length. It'll be 5 miles. On the other triangle, this time they gave us the hypotenuse, so we're going to say x squared plus 6.3 squared equals 15.4 squared. And you might want to do this in your calculator. So 6.3 squared is 39.69. 15.4 squared is 237.16. And if you subtract the 39.69, you will get x squared equals 197.47. And again, I need to do the square root here at the very end. And let's do the square root of that number, and we should get about 14.1. Now, because I have to round that number, sometimes you'll see them use the approximation symbol. And again, that will be in miles. So we have 14.1 miles. Let's look at number 3. It says determine if the triangle is a right triangle. If it is a right triangle, then this would be our hypotenuse because that's the longest side. And we can call 9 the A and 12 the B. Let's check out Pythagorean theorem. If this formula works, it has to be a right triangle. If we square 9, you get 81 plus 144. And if you square 15, you get 225. Now let's check this left side. If you add those together, you do get 225. And so because the two sides match, the formula works, and this is a right triangle. So I'm going to say yes. If these would not have equaled each other, I would have said no. This time we'll do a word problem. Let's draw a picture. It says a ladder is leaning against the building. Here's my building, and here's my ladder. Let's go ahead and finish it up. This is a right triangle. And so it says the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the building. So this length is 5. And the top of the ladder is 12 feet off the ground, so this side must be 12. We're looking for the length of the ladder, so that'll be C. So 12 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. This is 144 plus 25, which is 169. When you do the square root of 169, you get 13. So C equals 13 feet, and that's how long the ladder is. At this point, you'll do the checkpoint and come back to the video. Moving on to our next section, we're going to do area and perimeter. Again, use your reference sheet for these formulas. The area of a rectangle is length times width, or some people like to say base times height. And so we'll multiply 4.5 times 3.2. You can do that in your calculator if you want to. And we get 14.4. Now, because you multiplied inches and another inches, we get inches squared for our area. Perimeter, we can just add up all the sides. Remember, these two sides are the same and the other two opposite sides are the same. You can add them all up together, or some people like to use the formula 3.2 times 2 plus 4.5 times 2. And again, you can work that out in your calculator. And you should get 15.4. This time we're not multiplying the inches, so we won't get inches squared. We'll just get inches. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Looking at the triangle, the base and height should make up that 90-degree angle. So we have the base is 4, but the question is, what is the height? So I need to use Pythagorean theorem for that. H squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. I know this is 16, and this is 25. If you subtract the 16, you get 9, and therefore my height must be 3. So 1/2 times the base 4 times the height 3. Let's see, 1/2 of 4 is 2 times 3, that must be 6. 6 centimeters squared. The perimeter, I can add up all these sides together. 5 plus 4 plus 3 makes 12 centimeters. The area formula for the circle is pi r squared. Remember, r is the radius. If they give you the diameter, that will be all the way across, and you need to cut that in half to get the radius. So our diameter would have been 6. So we have pi times 3 squared. Now in the directions I say to use 3.14 for pi, so we're going to multiply 3.14 times 9. You can do that in your calculator, and you get 28.26. And that'll be feet squared. Now because pi has been rounded, you might see those approximation symbols used here as well. The circumference is 2 pi times the radius. Now 2 times the radius is also diameter, so sometimes you see it written as pi times diameter. Remember, our diameter would have been 6, so 3.14 times 6 is 18.84. And that'll be feet. Our last topic is volume. You will get all of your formulas on the reference sheet. The formula for the volume of a prism is length times width times height. I could have turned around this picture, and so it does not matter which one you call length, width, and height. Usually people call the height the one going up and down, and usually the length is the one that goes across. But again, it doesn't matter which one you call length, width, or height. And so we'll just multiply 8, 3, and 5 together. So 8 times 3 times 5 is 120. And because you just multiplied inches times inches times inches, you get inches cubed. This video is finished. You can do your last checkpoint and have a good day.